bum dum bum 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 ba-da-dum bum ba-da-dum bum 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 da-da-dum dun 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 dun.
Well,
Yeah, that was great, wasn't it?
was that your Phase 3 new logo celebration song?
It's the best I can do with limited rehearsal. By limited, I mean absolutely none, and I watched the clip once because you wouldn't let me watch it twice.
I'm not sitting here watching a logo clip on repeat. That's weird. That's what you can do in your own time.
I'm Rogue One.
And I'm Captain X.
And we're going to talk to you about Doctor Strange.
This is actually vaguely relevant because we only saw it like 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is our most recent review.
And most recent movie.
We love the Marvel movies, don't we?
Yes.
They are great.
They are. Except for a few.
Iron Man 2, yes, we know. With a few, but then it's not even bad. Anyway, we're not going to get into that discussion.
No, that's not.
You were a wee bit sceptical. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
And I said it's going to be one of the most successful Marvel movies for a while because it's The Batch and because it's Marvel.
And I thought, well, okay, but I mean, you know, Doctor Strange, historically, from a comic book perspective, has never really done that well.
But they got Sherlock. Sherlock is playing him.
I know. And I...
It's Sherlock with wizardry.
I know. But
it's Harry Potter and Sherlock's love child.
I know all that. It's just I'm allowed to be sceptical.
I know.
I am allowed.
And I pointed this out. And did his first movie, not just knock Iron Man off of the pedestal of the most successful launching movie of an individual character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Yeah.
By 600, whatever it was, billion?
Not by 6, no.
What was it, 600 million?
No, it was by 25 million.
Whatever. It was a lot. It was a lot. I don't know. It was a lot of money. It was great. I love being right.
Yes, I know. You read an article and you're very happy.
I read an article. I heard about it on radio too. It's amazing. And I'm glad to always be right. As I always am.
That's very
about
good.
Everything.
Thank you.
So what did you think about the movie that I was right about?
I liked it very much. I thought it was great fun.
It felt like being in Phase 1 again.
Yeah, which I suppose
in a good way, not a bad way, in a good way.
Which is kind of the point, really. You know, some nice stuff, some good characters. Great once again, a lovely ensemble of actors. Played by some great people like Tilda Swinton and Chiwetel Ejiofor and stuff, and they were all really good.
And the guy who played Wong, whose surname is actually Wong, I think.
Yeah, B.D. Wong, I think.
Oh, I loved him. He was great.
He was really funny. And Mads Mikkelsen as the villain is great, and the cape. The cape.
Oh, I love the cape. I think that
best inanimate object since Aladdin's carpet.
I was going to say there's a special place in my heart for that carpet. It doesn't quite beat it, but it's
close. It's
close. I could see that in the next film if they gave it a girlfriend and a side story and a road trip. I'd vote that one.
Absolutely. Maybe another short, like the Thor Ragnarok shorts.
Yeah, but just the cape.
Just the cape.
Love it.
So for those, I can give you a brief plot synopsis for those of you who don't know who Doctor Strange is and what his deal is. He's a really arrogant and yet brilliant neurosurgeon. Think Tony Stark, but in surgery. And one day he's driving along on the road and he has a terrible car crash and ruins his hands. So, using all his money, Dr. Stephen Strange, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, tries desperately to get his hands working again so he can go back to do the job he loves. Unfortunately, he can't quite manage it, but then he hears about this weird, mystical place. So he decides to go there and meet the Ancient One, get some training, and get his hands back.
Yeah. And do you think, should we go into spoilers, or do you want to go through our review, do our summary scaling, and then we'll talk spoilers?
Why not? Let's do that.
Let's do that. So we're not going to talk about spoilers. We'll wait until we get to our grades, and then we will talk spoilers, because I think there are a few things where it's better that you don't know. Like, I feel like it would get in the way of your enjoyment. Yeah.
Even though probably most people by now have seen it, we're still going to be nice to you.
We're going to be nice people. I loved it. I really, really loved it. I love Benedict Cumberbatch.
He is great most of the time.
I'm not really the biggest Doctor Strange fan, I think it's fair to say. I've read a little bit. It's a bit weird. It's a bit psychedelic.
It is.
Not quite my cup of tea.
No.
But I really enjoyed the animated Doctor Strange movie.
Yes.
Which we watched the day before they dropped the first trailer.
Yeah, that
which was
weird.
A little spooky.
That was
I feel
weird,
like we caused that. Maybe we caused it.
Maybe we did.
You know, like one of those weird things where, like, you know, butterflies and hurricanes or whatever it is.
Yep.
Anyway, so I really enjoyed that. I was kind of thinking like they'll do a very similar plot to this, but they kind of did to the animated film.
Kind of, yeah.
And I love the acting. I love Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton is the ancient one.
She was great.
Yeah.
Loved that. I loved all the acting.
Mm.
I loved the story. I thought it was really good. I loved... Oh, that's a spoiler, so I can't say. I love the special effects. Visually, it is very Inception-y, but it's not distracting.
No, not at all. And it's not like they're doing it just to be like, hey guys, we can do Inception. They're doing it because, you know, it's just another interesting way to do action and stuff. Like when the guys are fighting on the astral plane. And they're like bouncing around the room and stuff, like when they're fighting in their ghost form. Their astral forms.
That was really cool.
Really cool. Really good stuff.
It's really funny. So you've got the good guy and Doctor Strange, and both of them have projected their spirits out of their bodies.
Astral forms.
Astral forms, lovely. And they're fighting, and they're having like this hardcore, you know, no hold but just whacking the living daylights out of each other. And then like they keep being thrown against stuff in the real world. And for them, it's like, but then like it's just like, something moves slightly.
Yeah, slightly.
I really like that.
Good.
I thought like that was, you know, and there's a kind of thing like, oh, maybe that's what ghosts are. You don't know. But I loved the visuals. I loved how they set it up in Ant-Man when he was going subatomic. Like clearly that one of the visuals, I was like, that has got to be nearly the same as the end.
Nearly the same dimension. Yeah.
So you've got all these different dimensions that you can go into.
Different worlds, even different realities.
I loved that Doctor Strange kept screwing up. Like when he took them into the mirror dimension.
Yeah.
And like...
Mordo in the
Mordo,
in
lovely.
the movie. Mordo.
I love how Mordo was just like, oh, why did you bring them here? They're stronger here. Why would you? They're gonna kick our butts in the normal world. Why would you bring them on the? Just run.
Yeah, that was really funny.
And it was just, there were just such little nice drops because it's what Marvel does really well. Everyone's probably seen it in the trailer. Shangri-La or whatever it was. What's this? My mantra? No, it's the Wi-Fi password. We're not savages. Like, just that light little touch and sprinkled throughout, and it was just really good.
Yeah.
I loved the shades of grey that were thrown in with a couple of characters who you thought, oh, they're the best of the best, and then you find out stuff and you're like, ooh, maybe they're not.
Maybe not.
I really, really liked it. I love the visuals of the spells because they're kind of a bit like magic lights, kind of. If you take a long shot of a firework or a sparkler, that's kind of what they look like.
Like doing all the sigil design and stuff like that was really fun.
Yeah. I think anything more and we're going to get into spoiler territory.
Yeah,
so do you want to give
my rating?
Yeah.
Well, I really did like it. 3.5, 4, 3.
I'm going to give it a 4.
It's 3.5 just for being like a regular movie, but it's probably a 4 if you like Benedict Cumberbatch, and as I do, the Batch. So yeah, we'll call it.
The Batch.
Should we call it a 4? Yeah, 4 because like some of the visuals are amazing, and I honestly didn't think they'd pull off a Doctor Strange movie that well. Like just the concept of it, I can appreciate.
Of course they did.
I don't know. Well, I can appreciate that.
They're Marvel. They pulled off the Guardians of the Galaxy
and Ant-Man.
A shrinking movie.
Yeah.
And they made it awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, good stuff.
Okay, so anyone who doesn't want...
Spoilers. Look away now.
Bye.
Stop.
It was lovely hearing from you.
We like you very
everyone
much.
else, but let's go. So what did you think? So what did you think of the ending?
Do you mean the loop?
No, I mean kind of the build up to when they kind of got... I loved that they got there and they were too late.
Yes.
And the Earth was screwed and it was over. And I was like, have they just ended the Marvel Universe? Like
that seems a bit bold.
That's a bit bold. Like, wow, okay, great. Okay, this is going to make Infinity War really interesting when they're all like astral planes punching the living, what's out of each other. I really like that. And then he had these magic amulets which could turn back time. I love that. And you could see stuff moving backwards and how all the magic
and how the buildings were coming back to
stuff.
And
they had to keep dodging out of the way because like if you get in the way of a wall, you end up being in the wall. Like I thought that was so clever.
Yep.
I thought that was so, so clever. And I loved, like, they kind of come up with, like with all things, it's like Star Trek. They come up with the Prime Directive just so they can break it later on because they need it for the plot. I love it when, like, Wong earlier on is like, no, you can't travel back in time. Like, it's seriously screwed up. You could destroy the universe. Yeah. And then he's dead because he was gone single-handed against Mads Mikkelsen.
Not single-handed. He had other people with him.
Well, he was up against Mads Mikkelsen on his own. And he's, like, impaled. Like, when they get there, he is impaled on this spike. And it's just brilliant. Like, he obviously, they go back in time, he's fine. And then, like, he, like, looks at the spike, and they're like, yeah, you were on that. And he's like, do you know what? I'm fine. I'm fine with that whole time travel thing. Let's go.
Let's go, shall we?
I thought that was quite funny.
I liked that they changed Wong's character, because in the comics he's more of like the traditional butler Alfred type Doctor Strange, and in this he's basically the grumpy librarian.
That
He's
was
a
really
badass.
funny. Well, to be honest,
Fantastic.
they start the movie with the head librarian losing their head. So
Yeah.
fair enough, you would be a bit grumpy if you took over the headless guy.
Yeah, that's true.
In terms of the ending of the plot, I thought that was really quite unique.
Yeah, like, I'm going to keep dying over and over and over again until
Yeah.
you get bored, and I'll just keep doing it, and we're just going to reason it out.
So he sets a time loop on his amulet. So every time he dies, it just goes back to the beginning of the scene again.
Yeah, and he's
so
like-
he like flies in,
And it's just like, Dormammu,
all fabulous.
Dormammu, I've come to negotiate.
No, he's like, he doesn't say to negotiate. I've come to. Oh, what's his word?
It is negotiate.
Barter, bargain.
Oh, is it barter? It might be barter.
Is it barter? I've come to bargain. I've come to bargain.
Okay, Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
And you see it like about 20 times, and he just keeps killing him. He just keeps killing him, and it's really funny. It shouldn't be, but just like, it's just really funny. And in the end, he's like, ah! I've never been bound by time. I hate this. Please make it go away. And he's like, okay, you can't have the Earth. You can have all of your little mini follower people. You can have them. That's fine. And I want my planet back.
Yep, basically.
Yeah.
And what else? I loved Mordo. I liked that Mordo wasn't the bad guy.
He's set up as a bad guy for the next one.
I know, but I love that he is. I love that you get to know him as a good guy
I like
and all that
the
stuff.
reason behind it, because
Yeah.
I think that's why Loki, so many people like Loki's, because like you understand why he does it. Because he set up that he thought, he didn't realise he was a nice giant, he's been lied to.
Yep.
He felt used and like a pawn in a game, and he wanted to make Odin feel the same way. I get it. This guy, I'm like, you had this faith in the Ancient One. You thought she was this, amazing person, and she'd been telling everyone off about using dark magic. Oh, sorry, text, professional. And then it turns out she's been using it to keep herself alive, which is really hypocritical.
Yeah.
And I really liked that Stephen Strange wasn't the Sorcerer Supreme at the end. I loved that, because he's not ready.
No.
I loved that he's still like the last shot of the movie. His hand is still shaking.
Yeah.
I loved that. And the fact that he's not okay with it. He hasn't got, he's got these amazing magic abilities. He took down the bad guys. That's fantastic. But he's not the most amazing wizard in the world.
No, it's just it's now just him and Wong.
Yeah.
And like 2 sanctums down from like 4 or 8 or something.
Oh, they'll recruit.
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned Rachel McAdams.
Yeah, she's like...
She's really good. Like, she's not given a
fine.
great deal to do. She's kind of like medical
there.
Pepper Pops.
I guess you could lose her and it wouldn't lose anything.
Well, yeah, you would, because then he'd die, because you wouldn't have him to resuscitate.
No, you have any character do that.
It's more funny when it's someone you know. I just really liked her reactions. Like,
They were good.
like she comes in and like the magic floating cape is just there, and she just jumps, and it's like, it's what you would do. Like if you came in a room and you're a normal person and you saw a friggin' cape floating with no strings and it like looks at you, you'd be like, what the hell is that?
I did like that they didn't have any kind of relationship at all, and they were at the end of a relationship at the beginning of the film.
It was kind of like, it clearly was just kind of a bit of like, friends with benefits kind of thing.
And that was fine.
And she obviously had a bit of a torch for him, but he was always been a bit of a
dick.
Yeah, a bit of a dick. There's no nice way of putting it. He is Tony Stark. He is properly Tony Stark at the beginning. And he's a nice person at the end. And I'm really excited to see what they do with him.
Oh, I liked the other credit stinger with him and Thor.
That was brilliant. And the endless beer. I thought you'd like that.
That was funny. Yeah.
And I'm a little concerned that they're going to undo that great little stinger at the end of The Dark World, where Loki is Odin.
Oh, I don't think they are, because they've been talking about that for a while. Like, that's still...
But if he's brought Loki to Earth, that means he must know that he's Odin.
That's fine. He can find that out. They can have a big fight, and then he can bring him to Earth, and they can sort things out about Ragnarok. That's totally fine.
Doing a little bit timey-wimey.
They don't have to do a timey-wimey. They just have to... Thor just has to beat up Loki and then bring him to Earth. That's fine. That can happen.
Anyway, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good fun. I was expecting it to be such. I was not surprised. I was like, it's Marvel. They're just in their groove now. They've done.
Where are we? 14 movies now?
Yeah, 14 movies. Only one is not particularly good, but it's not bad. It's not like... You can
still watch it.
You can still watch it.
So, there we go.
There we go.
Strange. It was great. All good times. Well
Definitely
done.
go see it. Break more records. $16 billion.
Yes, of course.
Me good with money. Okay.
You're great with money.
So it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me. Goodbye.